Very nice. Everything is set. Nice. Wonderful. Yes, the map type should be adjusted. Wonderful. True. That was a fun game. Hello, Remas. Welcome. Okay, the players are getting slowly ready. I guess we should say a few words. Well, welcome to the second beginner tourney from the Dune circuit. The first one was really nice. The return of the donkey. No. The first one was very well received, and even the second one now, we had like more than 16 players. We could have hosted 2 tourneys even. So very nice. And this is Group D. So we are right now in the group phase. We will have 4 matches. And yes, Group D. We have an early start. Okay, everyone is ready. We will hop into the game. Yeah, so this is the beginner tourney. So every player here is fairly new to the game, has not a lot of experience, and during the tourney they have a chance to chat up with coaches, learn a few strategies, learn new factions even, and yeah, try to go for the finals and win the thing. Yes. And I'm excited to see so many different factions here. Not the usual standard meta ones like Atreides and Corina. We have smugglers and we have Fremen in this game, which is very exciting. We have Zephyr on Atreides, Only Love on smugglers, Vladimir Harkonnen, played by G.E.G.I. Quack, I don't know, and DVXM on the Fremen. What do we see with the counselors?
Percent reduction in recruitment time, which fairly enough works on harvesters as well. So it's not only a strong military counselor, but also a really strong economic counselor as well. Because if a worm eats a harvester, it comes back 30% faster, which is huge. And Phaedra Alpha, giving them the ability to use corruption on Landsred resolutions, which can potentially slow down Atreides in the Gov game, or smugglers for that matter. And also it gives them more influence and agent recruitment speed when at least one village is oppressed. And Fremen, favorite faction, by the way, not biased, going for Ramallo and Stilgar. Basically, you can go for any counselors on Fremen except Shimum, and it will work.
Very sad.
Yeah, they need to fix Shimum. Ramallo giving them intel production and a bit of authority production, which is not that important, but it's there. And Stilgar revealing every siege in the beginning of the game and +1 authority production, which is a joke, but it's there. So it's not bad per se, but not as important. So yeah.
That's it.
And the most interesting choice is Fade Alpha from Harkonnen.
That is true. I love to see Fade. Let's look at the research at the beginning. Atreides. Pretty standard.
Hey Adamina, yes,
Very
Devok is
excellent.
streaming on YouTube.
Nice. Also, Whaler is streaming on Twitch if you want to see Whaler stream in Russian.
Yep.
Going for diplomatic maneuvers pretty soon. Is that normal?
Yes, it is the norm. So basically, if you have Lady Jessica, you always go lay of the land first. You rush that because your treaties are free. So on the next council, what we can see from the trades is that they will try to truce everyone and get an eco and a research treaty as well. So like two for one basically.
I see.
And it will give them a huge snowball in terms of developing new technologies and stuff. Rushing for diplomatic maneuvers is you do that because the house gifts that just spawn around your main base after every Landsraad resolution gives them that early eco boost that they need, which they are missing out on because they cannot pillage neutral villages.
Yeah, 500 Solari each. I see.
Yep.
Smuggler is also going for lay of the land for the extra knowledge and the treaty, and of course going organized looting, which gives them their scavenging drone to get more from pillaging. That's also fairly standard. They're also grabbing their energy resources, and so they will get their scavenging drone really fast.
Yep.
Harkonnen also doing Instill Fear, then Arrakis Butcher, and then working towards martial economy. So Instill Fear reduces the... if you pillage the region, it will reduce the cost of the annex. And Arrakis Butcher lets you kill militia and rebels faster, and it gives you manpower, which is pretty strong in the early game.
Yep. It is an interesting choice to go for Arrakis Butchers as your 4th deck. I usually get it at my 5th, and I prioritize Lay of the Land before going anywhere else. So like Instill Fear and then Lay of the Land.
Lay of the Land is so strong. With like 2 villages you get in the early game, you already have 1 knowledge, plus 1 knowledge, which you always want.
It is really strong.
And the Fremen going for Desert Wisdom into Sand Brotherhood.
Fairly soon, yeah. This is a path they can take. They did this because they have acid lakes and they already captured it. And they already built a research hub there. So they can research these extra techs before getting the bazaar up, because they won't lose tempo from the extra knowledge they have from the acid lakes.
I see.
So
you want the bazaar because it gives you extra income, right?
Oh, you want the bazaar for many things.
I see.
So you want the bazaar because it gives you water for every trade. So every siege trade will cost from 4 water to 2 water, which just gives you like 14 water and allows you to trade with every siege at the same time in the early game, which is a great boost to your economy or knowledge,
especially
if they are knowledge sieges. Yep. And it gives 10 Solari for every trade. So not every alliance, but for every trade.
I see.
And on top of this, if you build this in the single slot, because it counts as every colored main base building, it will give you the development bonuses on the single building slot.
For every section, for military, economy, and statecraft, I see.
For all 3 of them. So it basically gives you 15% discount on every single development except the green, which is huge.
That sounds very
I can go more in depth into it, but I feel like we got more things to check in this game.
Let's look at the map layout. Where do we have our special regions? The special regions, of course, are marked with like the star and give you extra 1000 hegemony. You want these, and you want a lot of these.
Most of these.
Most.
Landsraad resolutions. Scientific Congress gets rejected. Research investments approved, and House Harkonnen secures themselves a 30 Landsraad because of the Harkonnen taint that they put on there. So basically, except House Harkonnen, anybody who gets this charter basically gets nothing. Because they gain 30 lands red and lose 30 lands red. So it is only useful for Harkonnen. This is a great use of Fade Alpha if they want to go for Gov or Chom. Because getting more lands red will give you discounts on the Chom market. And getting more lands red also gives you more influence cap, which helps with getting the charters for yourself. But Harkonnen is kind of weak politically, so that's not usually why they pick Fade Alpha, but it's also a use.
I see. I think I see our first contention point between Fremen and the Smugglers. I see a very nice mid bunker with 2 specials, Polar Sink and the Mundu Vale. I think both factions want to take those 2 villages.
Yeah, but Smuggler cannot realistically get this early. Fremen will just wipe them if they become too greedy. They also have no supply here. Do they have no, they do not have a supply drop.
It's very
So if the
greedy.
Fremen just decides to walk here and kill them, they can.
Let's see what
And
they
should.
decide. Yes, I think they want to.
Yep.
Not using the worm, just walking. And we have a first engagement. Now as Fremen, you want to target the wrecker probably. And now they're driving them off the point and they don't have any supply. So the smuggler units will die from thirst. And this is a
Fremen
clear
doesn't even
victory
have
for
to work
Fremen.
that much.
Yeah, saving the worm. Very nicely played.
Smuggler got a bit too greedy.
Yeah.
Arrakis belongs to the Fremen, they should have known.
They delved too greedily. Now that sets Smuggler a bit back because in the early game you don't have a lot of manpower and they need to rebuild their whole army. So this will set them back pretty far.
Yep. They have 8 manpower production. And they are right now recruiting a scavenger and a sniper, so we won't see Smuggler on the map for quite a while. Fremen has time to reinforce this bunker for now.
Very good start
Okay,
for
so
Fremen.
Really well played. That was a good engagement and a good decision to contest Smuggler there. Atreides decided to capture a Sandfall. 5 wind plus crit region as well. So this is just all around great to grab for Atreides. It gives them knowledge, water, and Plastrit, which is literally what Atreides needs the most in the early game.
Yes, also the spice field having industrious is very good for them. You can build 2
yeah.
Plastgrid factories and get a bonus of 20%, and you can even enhance that with an investment office and double the quirk.
I wouldn't even mind Atreides building a harvester works now. It's not common, but they can go for it because of this spice region alone.
Harkonnen, on the other hand, expanding pretty fast, having 2 spice fields already.
Oh, sorry. Devok is not streaming, he's just recording. My bad.
Ah, I see. So we have a second land thread, and this is very nice for Fremen. Getting water subsidies up and getting the polar sink for free.
Oh yeah, the timing is perfect.
I think the water subsidies resolution comes up in the first or second land thread.
Usually, yeah.
Does it come out at the third? I don't know.
I don't think it maybe sometimes, very rarely, but it surely only comes up during the first few.
Yeah, but it gets denied. Very wise from Atreides to deny that with the smugglers, because the other players in the lobby don't want Fremen to get that without cost. We also see our first main base buildings. As you said, the bazaar in the signal slot for the Fremen, and now you can see the bonuses they get. Minus 15% development time, plus 15%. Reduces the cost of military developments by 15% for each section. Harkonnen with the Administrator Fall gives you authority production, so they can expand faster if they want to. Also a bit of Solari production. Pretty standard, I would say, for an early building.
Yep.
And the tradies and the smugglers don't have the resources yet, I would think. Smugglers does. Smuggler could build. Let's see. But I think they're mainly focused on rebuilding their army at the moment.
Yeah, that should be priority number one, because if you are near a Fremen, you are neighboring a Fremen. The early game is your only objective is basically to survive. If they are aggressive, you might need to pray, because otherwise you have no other choice. If the Fremen decides to just attack this fuel cell region and decap it, they can, and it will set smugglers back even more.
For sure. And smugglers getting the short end on the special regions. They can capture Worm's Nest in the north, but they have to be fast because Atreides has their peaceful annexing. And if they annex the Old Gap and the Worm's Nest and bunker them up, it will be really hard for smugglers to break it. So as smuggler, I want to go to that Worm Nest as soon as possible.
Yep. And the problem is that this region is a forward bunker for the Atreides. So basically, if Atreides decides to capture this region, there is a little bit of terrain here that they can build on. And what they can do is just build 2 missile batteries here, reinforce this village alone. Smuggler cannot do it the other way, so this bunker favors Atreides. So even if Smuggler captures this, it will be hard to keep.
Hopefully Smuggler sees that. They could walk over there right now with that pillage.
Not anymore, there's a storm.
Yeah, that is.
They would have to wait. Yep. Alright. Developments, looking back at it. Atreides finishing Atreides Foreman, going for a economy-focused Atreides game. Pivoting into Spying Mastery next. After grabbing their second armory slot, maybe they are afraid of Fremen aggression.
And it gives them plus 10 water, which is also very nice for them.
Yeah. But I think they are fine with all the 5 and 4 wind regions they have right now.
That is true. Spying logistics very good for them. Getting 200% faster agent recruitment speed is very important in this game. You want your agents out very fast.
Vernius crying in the corner.
Vernius, of course, does not get any agents, and they have very slow agent recruitment speed.
Yep. But Vernius is not in this game, but they are, when I played them, they really just the lack of agents, it's really prevalent, and you can feel it just dragging you down, because missing out on those operations hurts.
Very nice.
And you don't have the information level.
Smugglers is getting the Worm's Nest. There's even a Fremen harvester already there harvesting spice.
Wow, okay. Kinda greedy, but I like it. There's a spice field they could have here. It could have harvested from, which is closer to Fremen territory, but I don't actually mind this. They will just pick it up and then move it there.
Middle region. This is also a nice bunker that Harkonnen might get, the 2 regions next to Polar Sink. If you see the terrain, they also are able to bunker those up.
And this is, again, a forward bunker, but this is favoring Fremen. So, I don't know why he pillaged it. He can easily take this Harkonnen army on and just liberate this spice field.
maybe a small mistake by the Fremen, because as Fremen you want to bunker these up, like the whole middle you want to bunker up, because you want to get ahead in hedge, you will get ahead in hedge, and it's your only win con, and later on the whole lobby will come down on you, so you need these bunkers to fight them.
Yep. Smuggler committing war crime here, killing the harvesting caravan.
Killing the donkey.
Killing the donkey.
So smugglers are not taking this region, because this region gets now the Stakhanov bonus. If
and also here comes the Fremen.
Wow.
Wiping them again.
They
have to pay for their crimes.
This is mean.
This is because they killed the donkey. Do not kill donkeys.
Yeah, this is what happens if you do that. They're getting their revenge. Yes, as smugglers you want to take single regions that are not connected to any other region of yours, because the Councillor Stakhanov gives you huge bonuses on it. Sieges take 100% longer, so if someone wants to liberate that, they will have to spend a long time to do so, and you get plus 20% resource production.
Yep. I think that also works for hegemony. I am not sure. I will have to check. But yes, this liberation will take 12 days. Not 6, 12. And I don't think there are any sieges nearby that the Fremen could use to get some raiders there. Maybe this Yadalus named siege could bring some raiders there, so that the Fremen doesn't actually have to sit there. Oh, they decided to just pillage it because they realized that this will just take too long. Also a fine choice.
Now we are in the third Landsword session. Harkonnen putting the taint on infrastructure control. So every faction except Harkonnen, if they get this resolution, they will lose 30 Landsword, which is really strong.
Yep.
So.
And I wouldn't mind Harkonnen voting all in on the trial of the Great Houses, all of his votes, so that it passes. And the other houses will just vote Harkonnen on infrastructure control so that they don't get the minus 30. We didn't see it happen, but it would have been smart to knock someone down, or knock everybody down by 30 while getting infrastructure controls without even spending a vote. Yes. Because the threat of losing 60 here is really, really strong.
It would put even Atreides down under 200 Landsword standing, so they would go to low Landsword standing, which gives you a huge debuff. Hello Edras, welcome.
It would hurt Smug Chom and Atreides influence production. A win-win for Harkonnen.
But Smugglers getting foreign recruitment, this might save them a bit, because they want to rebuild their army, they need their militia, so that is really huge for them to win that.
Yep. Again.
Wow.
We see that Smuggler is struggling here, so what could have he done to prevent this against Fremen? The answer is not much.
Not going into the middle, trying to avoid Fremen at all cost. I mean, they're researching all their military. That is really good to maybe have a chance.
I think that's kind of standard, but Fremen is doing the same. So what if you want to contest Fremen in the early game, or just at all militarily? You need a lot of scavengers, a lot more free company.
We got something to do.
Kind of the same number in wreckers. And not many snipers, because snipers will just die from the Fremen jumping on them.
Fremen worms onto you and you have a bunch of snipers. They are basically gone.
Yep. So Smuggler here doing a really good job at picking the armor bonus on the scavenging drone. The shielding straightener gear. this is another thing that you need against the Fremen. Because before Fremen has the Fedaykin, they struggle against a lot of armor. So what you aim to do is maximize your armor with the drone gear and grab as much scavengers as you can and have an army mainly from scavengers.
Wow, Smuggler's doing a nice job trying to poke the Atreides here. The Fremen. Maybe hoping they
Yeah,
run
but-
out of supply, but they're standing in the pillaging circle.
Yep, and they are fighting in a storm which benefits Fremen the most, as the storm reduces the armor and visibility,
Yes. You
so
want
they
to
can
pull
run
out
up to you and
You want to pull out the Fremen units from the circle, so now they're dying of supply, they need to run back. And you want to repeat that, and if the other player doesn't do their micro well, you can try to harass here. And it seems like Smugglers is winning this fight. Very nice.
Yep.
Wow.
interestingly enough,
Very
I mean, Fremen only had
instigate.
22 waters, so and they've been away from their borders for quite some time. But again, Fremen has 20 manpower production, so they can easily rebuild the army before Smuggler can with their 6 manpower production. Looking at the drone market, Harkonnen is leading with 14%. Nothing unusual here. Smuggler doing a great job at calling out that the Fremen army is dead. Anybody can walk into the middle bunker and try to decap it before Fremen becomes a bigger problem before the bunkers in the middle.
Yeah, it will take some time before Atreides takes the two regions that will give them a forward bunker, and then maybe can contest Fremen in the middle.
But also, Atreides is just... they don't care if they are left alone and they can just scale into the late game.
Yes, that's why Shamoom is the way. You wouldn't have water problems there with Shamoom.
That is true.
Now, Atreides only having one main base building right now. It's fairly late because they built all their villages out and spent a lot of plascrete on that.
I also don't like them going for admin hall. I would have loved to see a research center better.
Yeah.
It's
I think
that's
I have 21
most
knowledge.
of the time.
Plus the research center, that would be another plus 20% knowledge.
Yeah, and they have 2 research agreements with Harkonnen and Smugglers, but not with Fremen.
Yeah, and I think they have enough spice fields to support their economy at the moment.
At your
And
service, sir.
don't need the extra Solari production from the administrator for.
It's mostly about the authority, not the
That
Solari.
is true.
But even then, I don't think they need to expand. Right now, they are good enough on what they have, and nobody's contesting their territories. They're kind of isolated from everybody else. What they need is knowledge to get the crucial techs, like Proud Liberator, Spying Mastery, valuable trinkets. Because going for full fear, if you don't have Spying Mastery, it's a huge loss in potential power. Also, Political Entente, you need that as well if you are going for Jessica. Force-truthing everyone, and then being betrayed gives you 4 Lance Red Guards for every betrayal, which can stack up real fast.
It's pretty stupid. I played against an Atreides and tried to liberate one special region from them, and I had to betray them twice. And they had 2 ceasefires to protect that region. And after 2 ceasefires, they forced me the second time.
Well, 8 Lance Red Guards. Now they live
Yeah.
that. And if someone has betrayed them as well because they are being decapped on 2 regions, well, that's 12. or 16 or 20.
Shiro, if you
It
hear
can
that,
become a
nerf
stupid number.
Atreides.
We will let Cream do the Atreides hating. I think him alone does that enough.
That is true. They get enough hate. Or do they?
They taint
know.
on private. Well, hey Castorex, is he your apprentice? Zephyr? He's doing fairly well,
Yeah.
I would say.
I think this Atreides will be a pain in the late game. They have so many bunkers. It will be almost impossible to push them.
Yes, for Atreides help, so I provided. I see. Alright. Well, here's the tech tree. I would say it makes sense and a great choice, considering how far they are from everybody else. They just need to scale, so being greedy is totally fair. Alright. Joe Market, not much changed. Lands red. How is Harkonnen's private mandate because it got tainted
This is
to the
nice
surprise
for
of
them.
no one?
They also building their triple yellow out first. So maybe
Alright.
they're trying to chome here.
Most probably. How many spice fields do they have? They have 1, 2, 3, potentially 4 spice fields. That is more than enough for Harkonnen to win on Chom.
Maybe they can get the spice field from Fremen later on.
They can definitely take the spice fields from Fremen. The late game, Fremen has to really outplay Harkonnen to win any engagements, because just the pure Serb execution armies basically impossible for Fremen to win against if they just take it like head on. They have to outplay it by killing the Serbs with just a handful of units and then going back.
Fremen picking Othame, which is right now the better choice.
Waiting for your order.
The only choice, you mean?
The only choice. I mean, you can pick Chani.
Well, you could. I'm not saying you couldn't, but Chani's only problem. So, Orfame, all around grades, lots of bonuses. So, best part of it is that enemy units at long range deal minus 3% damage per enemy units at long range. So basically, the more enemy units exist, the less damage every one of them deals, which gives the Fremen army really good survivability. And the other parts of their kit, of his kit, is not bad. Damage units suffer minus 30% speed, great for chasing down people. And long range ally ground units that are basically the only type of unit that exists, like here. This is a no-fame hit squad. 1 warrior, 1 infiltrator, 1 skirmisher, 1 mobile turret. Every unit here deals 50% more damage because there isn't another one of the same type. It is huge. Chani, on the other hand, gives 5 intel for every kill at long range, and makes it so that if a stealth unit is walking on sand, they do not attract worms and they move faster.
Wow,
Which is
I didn't know
great mobility.
I didn't know that staff units don't attract worms.
Only if Chani is nearby. Or like if you picked Chani, that's the only time they do not attract worms. Otherwise, they do. So, and the ability of Chani, which is the main reason you would pick Chani, is that the next attack deals double the damage for stealth units. Problem is that that bonus disappears if the unit is detected, which happens too often. So basically her ability is useless, and the only thing that is good in her kit is the extra mobility, but it's not worth it taking over Orphame's survivability.
I see. Fremen taking the Great Volcano. That's a powerful region for them because they can build their ceremony caves here and they give 100% more of the effect. So 10% more military power for them. And they can bunker those regions up to try to defend them against the Harkonnens.
Did he pillage that?
I
No,
don't
he didn't.
know.
It was the Harkonnen. Okay,
That's good for them.
then yeah.
Now Atreides slowly starting to take those forward bunkers here.
I think it's a bit too early. I don't think he should go for this spice just yet. He has no military as of now.
That is
Compare
true.
that to the Fremen. Yep, he has everything he needs from the military tech. Well, except the middle path, which is all around great again, giving them their second gear slot and 100 and plus 10 damage on the first attack after leaving a worm.
Yes. Well, Fremen is occupied with the Harkonnen aggression down there. But Harkonnen doesn't have any supplies, so have to retreat.
Yep,
I don't know
water
if
problems.
I don't know if Fremen wants to attack the Atreides. They have a nice
Well,
corner.
not yet.
They're nice secluded. I think they should attack Atreides. Because leaving the Atreides be and just leave them happy cackling
Yeah,
in their corner.
they will become a problem.
Especially
What's up,
with
John?
3 special regions.
Yeah, if I'm the Atreides, I would have taken this Mount Idaho much earlier,
Yes.
because 200% extra Plescrete factory resource production is huge on Atreides. They need a lot of Plescrete. And looking at their main base, they might have gotten a better use of that, although they have more than enough Plescrete, but not enough Solari, which I don't know why is that. They are working
The churn rate is pretty bad
3
for all the
spice
players
with-
here.
Oh, is it?
1.6.
Oh yeah, 1.6. Then yeah, we should see that. We should see their income rise as the Atreides foreman start stacking. So that might be less of a problem later on. Sup, Anton. Either Pookie.
Antonis. Ah. Nice. The next taint.
Imperial audit for the second time here. I would love to see Harkonnen grab Eye of the Council.
Yes.
It would give them the ability to just assassinate anyone without their agents being captured.
I'm also hoping for a Fremen win here. I think that is the only Fremen player in our journey. I would love to see them advance.
Yep.
It will be difficult against that Atreides.
Glad to serve you, my Duke.
I'm biased, but Fremen win is the best win.
I think the smuggler player will have the hardest time in this game. It's probably the best chance for the smug player is an assassination on one of the other players. Maybe Fremen, maybe Atreides.
Well, unless Fremen gets the deep desert. The way the Fremen territory is laid out now, if they decide to capture any more regions than this, they become an easy target for an assassination.
That is true. And we have Harkonnen on the other side, so it is definitely a possibility.
The double assassination sandwich would hurt them a lot. But also, Fremen cannot just straight up, kill a smuggler or make them a vegetable, because they need his calm jam operation against Atreides ceasefires in the late game.
That is
Otherwise, ceasefire, peaceful annexation will just guarantee Atreides the win if it comes down to the wire.
It will be interesting to see how far the Harkonnen player can get with their Chom. They have a lot of Solari, 6k in the bank.
Do they have enough manpower production for that? They have plus 13. I don't think that's enough to just... so ideally, you would leave your harvesters on greed mode and always be able to fill them up with the crew to the max. But that is really, really heavy on your manpower production, even with harvester works.
That is true, and they also have 2 offices of order, which also drain your manpower production a lot.
I think they have 3.
Minus 18 manpower from the 3 office of order. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That is a huge manpower drain.
Yep. And also, none of the harvesters are being guarded by ornithopters, which means that they lose out on the greed mode bonus, because sometimes the harvester will just get eaten without a worm sign. Or
on the other hand,
if
they don't have their red building, that's the recruitment center, so they will get an extra 30% manpower production.
Yeah, they also don't have that. They also don't have the building from parallel training that gives them +2 recruitment slots, which is also necessary for Harkonnen. They do have the Imperial Basin, which gives them extra manpower production, but that's not gonna be enough in the long run.
Yeah, we will see how far they can get with that.
Atreides is pillaging a siege
That's
in month
rude.
4. That is not canon. What is this?
For a long time, I thought Atreides couldn't pillage sieges.
We salute you.
But they can. I mean, with income like this, I would consider that as well. The next exchange rate should be good. It's gonna be 2.4.
Yeah, that's a huge boost.
That should give them enough Solari to build up their main base finally.
Yeah, they didn't collect their house gifts yet, so they have 2 house gifts.
Ah, that's why. Yep.
And they could collect them, and that's basically 1 main base building for them.
It is. So they can capture Mount Idaho right now. I would definitely do that.
For
Just to
sure.
get the Plastreed production and maybe some major buildings up.
Or Well of Riches for the extra Solari. Both are good options for them. I probably would have taken them earlier for them.
Also, there's this nice siege here on Mount Idaho with Scouts of the Secret Paths, which gives 10% extra health to military
Wow.
unit. This is basically one of the best for Atreides. We see a bit of... Is this aggression?
I think
Or is
they're
this
in
just
truce.
a smuggler being cheeky? Yeah.
They're truce.
Yeah.
Cheeky
No,
smuggler play
this
here.
will be just... Oh no. This is a
Wow.
capture, isn't it? Yep.
Amazing. I love that. Atreides does not have their attack up. Their army
Atreides
is
has
really
not
weak.
to defend against this.
This is a big weakness in the Atreides plan here. Not having any red tag. Only army logistics and post-trauma reintegration. So they probably can't beat the smuggler army. Oh,
What? Why? They can definitely
no.
capture this and
capture
annoy
this.
Atreides.
Yes, you can pillage all the Atreides land. They don't have any militia. You can militia check all these villages and liberate them.
And they should have definitely done that with this sniper army. It's also night, so they are much stronger than Atreides. Because during the night, smuggler units have 20% extra speed and 20% extra damage.
Okay, Atreides annexing the next 2 regions towards the middle. That's definitely
Oh.
a bigger mistake from smugglers here, not taking this region and harassing Atreides, because you can ally Fremen and say, okay, Fremen, we are fucking up Kermit.
I think once smuggler sees this double capture, they will realize like, oh shit, maybe I should have captured it and I should have harassed him a bit more.
Yeah, because untouched, this Atreides will be the late game menace.
Yep. I think if a Fremen sees this triple capture, they will decide to attack it. But before that, Fremen is in conflict with everyone. They just declared war against Atreides, so we might see some harassment going on.
That would be very good. Because right now is the point where you can still attack Atreides fairly easy, because they don't have the military, no militia, no main base buildings, no red tech buildings.
First Fremen descent gets rejected.
And a smuggler bounty.
Yep.
The Harkonnens are getting hit by the -1 exchange rate.
Which they should be, because they have 18% on the Chom market. How much money do they have right now in the bank? 4.7. Not much. But again, you cannot let it just, you cannot just let Harkonnen bank 40k and then just buy the Chom market.
And
That's ridiculous.
here we see the magic of Thufir. Huh? No, it's not hastened. But what you can do
What
as
is-
Atreides is annex a region and build all the buildings at one time, because that is one of their abilities. And you can even hasten it, so they get built pretty fast, and you can set up a bunker almost immediately.
Yep. I think Fremen is a bit too focused on harassing Harkonnen here. They should divert their attention to Atreides for now.
Yes, definitely.
Especially because they have this nice siege right here that can just send raiders to basically every village in this
That is true.
neighborhood. So
They could even capture the energy sources up in the north if they have enough authority. Getting a bit more power.
they do have enough authority for that. Barely, but they do.
Yeah, I think smugglers and Fremen should bind together here and attack their Atreides. That would be the play.
Yep.
Because with
This
Harkonnen
Orphan
you can deal later
pushing.
with the Harkonnen. Yeah, for sure. Remace pointing it out in the chat. All those bunkers, it's an S+ spawn for Atreides.
Yeah, this is ridiculous what we will see here. Not even the Protoss Golden Armada can break this. Interestingly enough, Harkonnen didn't choose the meat armor gear for the executioners, which is interesting because that's their best gear.
That is true. Going for breastplate and parrying arm guards.
This is basically a standard frontline backline kind of army with a few tanks in the front and a few DPS units in the back, which is not what usually Harkonnen uses against Fremen. But no specials in this bunker. Yeah, but there's a special bunker here, and there's a special bunker here for the Atreides. You can consider this a bunker as well if you wish. So basically all of their, and this is a forward bunker for the Atreides as well. So like basically if Atreides decides to capture any specials, all of them will be a bunker. None of them are isolated.
Yeah.
This is just basically to force Harkonnen to walk on this, huge sand area where they can be wormed. And also here's the desolation denying Harkonnen to walk from to split push on the north. So this bunker is pretty good area denial. Well, Fremen can just worm around it for sure, but this is another bunker.
Harkonnen
I still
attacking
think
the
fighting
volcano
for
right
this
now.
with no water.
They have to kill the militia fast and get on the point. Nice. But Fremen is getting ready to worm here, so I don't think the Harkonnen army will last long.
You summoned me,
No.
right?
Without the meat armor gear. I think it's called meat armor.
Yeah.
It is. So without the meat armor gear, the executioners are really, really weak. They have 500 health. They have 16 armor now, but it will be only 6 armor once they get at least 1 stack. They will be strong, but they will die fast.
Here they come.
Here comes the skirmisher first hit bonus.
Now, Fremen needs to pull Orthanc a bit back, so he will not get killed.
Yep, you want to keep that debuff on for as long as possible.
Speak plainly, Ned.
Fedaykin will just cleave through this army. Raban's ability does not get activated, which is a shame because it would give, I believe, 20% extra power to the units inside.
Oh, this is much closer
And
than I
also-
thought.
It is a lot.
Yeah, but it's a clear Fremen victory.
It is really strong, but
Raban will be
Yep.
the killed. But on the other side,
Unfortunate.
Smuggler is taking the chance, pillaging the Fremen middle region. I think they might want to liberate that even. Taking those 2 regions would be huge for them.
I think they should not care about the Fremen as much and focus on the Atreides,
That is true.
because we hate Atreides. Atreides coming back from the pits from 20%, from 20 salary income to 700. Also, they're basically finished with their tech tree, but it is a... Well, they don't have any red tech, which is alarming, to say the least. Gear regulation probably will go on a Fremen. Yep, smuggler bounty of Fremen. And the Harkonnen taint on the Imperial propaganda.
Wow, and we see a very advanced tactic here, doing a striped main base building for the Harkonnens. Not many players know this, but this is huge.
Don't like it. I don't.
Nah, you don't want to
So-
do that. Yeah,
No.
because
So
you
what
don't
you
get the
usually build
bonus.
on Harkonnen is a triple yellow, double blue, triple red, and I believe 4th red in the single slot.
Yeah, what they're probably
Alternatively, you
doing
can-
is deleting their embassy and replacing it with a red tech building.
Yeah, that's most probably what will happen. Because the other build that you can do is the triple yellow, triple blue, double red, and 1 more blue in the single slot.
Okay, Fremen gets hit with gear regulations, but Smugglers also... well, Smugglers getting authority and Atreides voting sale incentives on Harkonnen.
Factory-wise, the tradies will finish their green tech soon, and they should get the red now after that ASAP. Smugglers still haven't researched valuable trinkets, which is, considering they have literally only one special region, not that big of a deal.
Yeah,
But
but
also
you could argue that they want that even earlier because they only have a special region. So they want
Yeah.
to start producing earlier than others.
But also they are not yet at 10k hedge. That early aggression from the Fremen really set them back.
Wow, that means they don't have their hero yet.
And they don't have the main base UHQs either.
So
Which is
they
another-
need to capture at least one other region.
What even is the win con for Smuggler here?
Not sure.
They have the least shares except Fremen. I don't know what's the plan here.
Probably the assassination, I don't know. Are they building any? No, they don't have any agents on another faction. Does Harkonnen? Harkonnen has one on the Fremen. That's good. But as we said, they definitely need to deal with Atreides. So all the players in the lobby have to realize this Atreides will be hard to deal in the late game if they let them slip away with not having any red tag.
Yes, sir.
And Atreides is consolidating, grabbing Well of Riches, getting Mount Idaho. So right now it will start to get pretty hard to attack them here. They still don't have a full army, so there's still a chance for the lobby to attack them and get off the regions. But they have to do it now, before they get into the late game.
This lobby has pillaged more sieges than what I usually see.
It's very good to
Which
see
is well
from all the
done.
players, yeah.
You want to deny that from the Fremen?
Is Atreides trading with the Scouts siege? No, they aren't.
They are not. They do not have the water for that. Both Harkonnen and Atreides have less than one. Well, not anymore, but they had less than one water.
They also have the council chamber. If I'm not incorrect, the council's chamber allows you to get faster relations with a siege.
I don't think so, but they do
No?
have a building that you can place in a village. That's
It's
what
not
gives
the
you
council's chamber,
faster.
right? It's
No.
how is it called?
It's here Concord Chamber.
Ah, I see. Another chamber. So, what is your prediction in this game? Who do you think will win?
Atreides. That's
Yeah.
as sad as I am to admit. It's gonna be Atreides probably.
If the lobby doesn't rally together soonish, then it will be Atreides to win.
Yeah,
I would
they
like to
just
see
have
it
such
shown
a solid.
victory I would like to see it shown victory with the Harkonnens. That would be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, look at the Chom market. Just 20% of the shares just got bought up by all three parties.
Yeah, but probably smugglers and Atreides have such a good economy that they can delay that long enough for Hedge to win.
I mean, Harkonnen has 8k in the bank and they just started buying.
Maybe there's a chance.
There is a chance, but for
I will predict Harkonnen to win. Here it is.
that, on which turn?
Oh god. Month.
Not
10.
month. Which turn?
Turn
Like the
10.
board game. Which
Turn 10.
turn 10? Oof. Okay.
last turn. This will be a long
A
game.
really, really last turn. Okay. Bremen gets wormed. Feeding Shaihulud. Also, still haven't put their second gear on, which is a shame. But everybody forgets that sometimes. Everybody else in the lobby put their second gear on. Nicely done. Right, let's see the next Lance Red. Tax negotiations. If that gets put on Harkonnen, that's gonna be huge.
Yes, we want to see the taint.
It will get tainted, that's for sure.
The taint is so strong. I think a lot of people sleep on that, especially with
Put some
Carino
tainted love
together.
on that. Oh yeah.
Tainted love. That's a great
Put some
song.
tainted love on that. That's there it is.
There it is.
I mean, even then, Atreides and Smugglers has enough Lance Red standing that they can just tank it and not care
That is also
if they
true.
want to deny that from Harkonnen.
Especially if they don't have any governor ambitions, which I don't think they have.
Yep.
Now Atreides
Atreides
the next
claiming it.
siege.
This is really not lore accurate. Cover your
Against
children's
the law.
eyes.
Hello,
What's up,
Cream.
Cream? So I wouldn't mind Atreides not pillaging the siege and just keeping it for EXP.
Yeah, that's true. They can train their units
We're honored to
very
serve
well.
you.
And they kinda need to because
Yes, and they're leaving.
they
it.
have no
What do
red
you
tech.
need?
Casterex, is that why they don't have red tech? Because you coached them? Is this your fault? Classic.
It's very greedy. And it
Greedy,
worked.
greedy.
The lobby didn't jump on them. But
I
they
did not
are
sanction
getting,
delaying
they're
that this
getting their
much.
hedge up, so if they're not careful, Atreides will jump ahead in hegemony before the Fremen, get over 20k, and then hopefully the lobby realize to attack them. Right now, Fremen is engaging the smugglers, with only for Dakins and Otham,
Not obey you.
and they're winning.
I wouldn't call this winning. Because, yep, there's a worm. And Smuggler successfully made some distance between the two of them, which they immediately lost after Fremen decided to rush there.
Smugglers in full retreat here.
I think if they kite and shoot back,
Have you seen
they
my
can
latest
win the
report?
fight with a few losses. But Risk will surely die here.
A rifle can be a terrible weapon.
Yeah, Driss is going down. Fremen is just sacrificing this army.
Well, I wouldn't even call it sacrifice because
Trading it.
not even trade, I think. Oh, maybe they won't win. That second gear slot missing might change the outcome of this fight, because if
that is
the
true.
Fedaykin had that gear that gives them extra power, this plus 10% damage, or even just this plus 6 power, it would have easily won the fight for them, but it looks like Smuggler will take this W.
But smugglers also
And they also
getting
get
administrative burden.
admin burdened, which does that too much? It kinda does, yes. So is Fremen struggling with manpower? No. Then why are they building only 2 Fedaykin? Why are they recruiting only 2 Fedaykin?
Yeah, I think the armory slot is the most common mistake in Dune Spice Wars for getting the second armory slot. It's just so much going on. You have to micro, you have to make decisions, you have to build buildings. You just forget about it.
No, I would say the most common problem is leaving Atreides or Corino in the game.
Well, yes. So maybe the third most common problem.
Yep. You should, by the way, you should kill Atreides and Corino, preferably before 5k hedge. That's what I heard from some of the best players. Harkonnen deciding to have another run at Great Volcano and try to capture it. But they do not have the supply, so if Fremen decides to attack them, they should be easy to clean up. Still no meat armor on the executioners, and now they are below. They have negative water, so...
Yeah, because of a rebellion in one of their oppressed regions.
Oh no.
Harkonnen does not have great water regions. A few.
This is the time when you would grab Insulated Valley if you see that you have a few. I would say that tech is worth it even if you just have only like 3 regions that have 2 or less water.
That is true. And we see the Fremen walking up. Harkonnen should
Also,
know
this warrior heavy army, I don't think this warrior heavy army will win the fight. You need skirmishers and Fedaykin.
Yeah, and you need to pull the Harkonnens out of the circle. Let's see what they can do.
Yeah, let's see, does Raban's
Harkonnen
ability get activated?
The Harkonnen needs to stay in the circle here.
Which they do not do. Fremen baiting them out of the circle, letting the supply kill them.
Yeah.
They don't even have to lift a finger and the Harkonnen army just dies. Yep.
Very well played. As Harkonnen, you want your troops all selected to just stay in the circle, because Fremen can't do anything.
Yep. And as Harkonnen, if you are facing off against the Fremen, you would want 5 Serbs, 3 gunners or 4 gunners, and the rest just executioners with the meat armor gear. That is crucial to winning the fights, because yes, you lose 150 health, but your executioners become literally invincible, or not invincible, but immortal, as long as the fight is going. It's gonna take a whole lot to kill them.
Smugglers and Harkonnen are chatting, so Smugglers deciding to attack the Fremen, hopefully capturing the regions in the middle. That might get Smugs back into the game a little bit.
Do they have... Yes, they do have illicit methods, so they can decide to just capture this Moondew Vale away from Fremen. I wouldn't mind seeing that.
Yeah,
Although,
they should.
looking at the hedge, Fremen is at exactly 20k. House Atreides is at 19,996 with plus 29, so they will overtake Fremen in literal seconds. Yeah, no meat armor in a lobby where there is no Corino is, I would say, the biggest mistake this Harkonnen player has made. Apart from that, they did a solid Chom heavy build, which unfortunately did not pay off. But they also have their hedge up as plan B, so they are still in the game.
Yeah, for sure. And there's still a chance if you maybe kill the Atreides with an assassination or kill their base to get the Chom win.
I think if Harkonnen changes to meat armor and just starts owning this Fremen, they can just start capturing all of their specials and these bunkers in the middle and can potentially win. Also, this is they are getting a spying mastery now, so we might see an assassination happening soon.
Yeah, but on the Fremen and not on the Atreides.
Yeah, that's kind of a shame.
Now smugglers start
Let's
to
look at the
capture.
espionage.
Very nice.
Alright.
Even with that region, they still would be very far behind the other players. But it would give them a fighting chance in this game.
Yes, but with this special, they can potentially have 50 passive hedge generation, which is huge.
That is
If
true.
they can start hitting Atreides, decapping regions, if the game drags on for long enough, they can potentially win off of hedge.
Fremen is waiting for the worm. Yep, there they go.
Here they come. And this
Smugglers.
sniper heavy army should be
Yeah.
obliterated within seconds.
Now, smugglers needs to take the snipers, kite them out before this Fremen flop hits them. Because if they clump together, I think
Nice
they
round.
but they can deal AoE damage. So
Fame gets sniped. But this will
That's
not
good.
be enough against Fremen.
yeah.
It is still in the pain in the butt that Fame died, because that is 150 authority down the drain for the Fremen player. But they did not lose a special.
Yes.
In the meantime, Trade is capturing this region, which they can build the bunker for Worm Nest in, but they did not place the missile batteries where I expected them to.
Yeah, Atreides just playing SimCity Simulator up there. Not interacting, just building out their villages, building out their military, get the vetted
At your
units up.
command.
Pretty-
Harkonnen's still trying to kill or take regions from Fremen without the meat armor gear on.
very low accurate.
The chances of that happening is low.
But not impossible, because Fremen is away, trying to... I don't know what they're trying to do.
Nothing is impossible, but for example, this Fremen still has one gear on, so that kind of gives them an equal fighting chance. No meat armor Harkonnen executioners and no second gear from an army.
I don't think Fremen will be there in time to stop the Harkonnens. They're so occupied
Me
with the
neither.
smugglers.
But also, Atreides is just laughing, looking at these guys fight against each other while he's in the lead.
Yeah. This is pretty hard to get and to understand and to see in a game, which player you should attack and which player you shouldn't at the moment. Because Fremen does
Yep.
not need to attack smugglers here, because they need them later on to fight the Atreides. And smugglers is basically out of the game. They still have passive, but they're so behind in regions and don't have any special regions, only one.
Their only chance right now is a sneaky gov, which is not possible with the Lance Red standing they have and the influence reduction they can get. And Chom, which is contested by the other great houses.
Yeah, so
Harkonnen does seem to capture these regions fairly easily. Nobody defending them. Does the Fremen have worms? They have hidden tumpers.
They're trying it. They're
The
going
capture
in.
goes through. Let's see the fight. Fremen will lose Great Volcano, and with that the extra 10% military strength. Question is, can Fremen kill this Harkonnen army?
don't think so, and they're realizing that and trying to run away. Harkonnen
Yep, the
can't
double
follow, they
turret.
don't have any supply.
Also, this little Fedaykin squad right in the back here, just watching the fight happen.
Yeah, chilling. I fear this might put Fremen and Harkonnen into a blood feud.
It is possible. But they should both realize the fact that this is not as important as attacking
Yeah.
Atreides, because if they attack Atreides right now, they will have time to decap a couple of regions, because these bunkers will need time.
They are fully built out. Yeah, and now Atreides will get Wonders of the Desert, then Proud Liberator, and then it will be hard to do so. Interestingly, they don't have any support drones, which is a strong unit for Atreides.
Do they not? Yeah, they don't. Eye of the Council comes up with Harkonnen having the most votes. Could we see a Gov Harkonnen? Is that possible?
Everything is possible in Dune Spice Wars.
Especially here.
Smuggler Bounty and Fremen Descent on the same resolution.
Is it for oppose or support? Oh, it's for support, okay.
Yeah.
They are working together. So if this rebellion goes through, it will tickle Atreides a bit, because their bunkers will have will just basically kill the rebels, but they won't have any production for, like, I don't know, 3 seconds before the bunkers
Yeah.
take care of the rebels.
Does Atreides
Also-
have enough influence production to spam ceasefires in the late game? They don't. They only have 6 plus 6 intel. I would like to see a bit more to really have enough ceasefires to defend against a 3v1.
They will have enough influence for forced trucing.
That is true.
Plus 25. So every 10 days they will get 250 influence, which is the cooldown on forced trucing once war is declared. So they will have barely enough influence for every to force truce. I think 1 faction, maybe 2.
Now, Fremen does have valuable trinkets, but does not have them built out. They're starting to build them now, which is good to see. They could have done that earlier, I think.
Possibly. So looking at the main bases, I like what I see. Fremen should have rebuilt this Mason Guild Research Center unholy combo in the 2 building slot. But apart from that, every main base is looking nice.
Yeah, Harkonnen.
I do not like this triple blue on Atreides though. It's usually triple red.
Yeah, because it gives you the health bonus, and the Atreides units scale with their health.
Yep. They're already really tanky, so making them even tankier with HP
Yeah. Plus
is worth much
20%,
more.
then the siege with another 10, that's 30%. They
Yep,
would
and
be
then there's
tanky.
Proud Liberator,
My Duke.
Yeah.
which is percentage bonus yet again.
Coupled to their
Atreides-
threat standing. Yeah.
Yeah, they can easily get like 1.2k HP troopers
Chunky Idaho.
or some really chunky Idaho.
Sire.
Fremen taking back at least one of the regions.
They should
I don't know why.
realize by now that they have to attack Atreides here.
Yep.
But of course, as Fremen, you can't let that Harkonnen aggression slide.
We do see an overlord on at the Harkonnens.
That is very
One of the
good for them.
strongest frigates in the game,
Our belly is full of
if not the
snakes.
strongest,
Yeah, pretty much the strongest.
The Overlord is watching.
because they can decimate those protocols.
Yeah, there's an argument for the ECAS and for maybe smugglers.
The Wraith is
Is full of
good
stings.
because it helps the smuggler's kite, but by itself, I don't think the Wraith is a good unit.
Yeah, and
Good frigate.
maybe now we see the Overlord in action with the decimation protocol. You see those little stingers. They can self-destruct and basically one-shot range units with it.
Or frontline units, they can wash out everything. Not just
Everything.
ranged, everything basically. Even max HP, max vet Atreides troopers lose like 80% of their health, which is a lot. So that's about 1k HP burst in AoE. Really
Yeah.
nothing to mess with.
As strange as it sounds, the Fremen and the Harkonnen are natural allies here against the Atreides. It goes against every law that we have in this game, but Atreides is their enemy.
I think that's completely lawful. What is illegal though is pillaging that Scouts of the Secret Paths siege. If I'm the Atreides, I'd never pillage that. That is just one of the greatest sieges to ally.
Yeah, you much rather have them allied.
But that is a choice. A choice I do not get behind. Or I cannot get behind.
Okay. Harkonnen building the information levels on the Fremen. There might be an assassination later on.
I do not like the fact that Atreides is still being left alone.
Yeah, I think if this continues, then Atreides will walk out with a win here.
Yeah, because if there's a smuggler in the lobby, yes, you can counter ceasefires. But also, smugglers usually don't capture a lot of regions around their main, so there are a lot of neutrals that Atreides can potentially capture and spike with unless smuggler pays attention and keeps them permanently pillaged, of course.
And we have another engagement here. Vapors are going down.
Vapors go down.
The Kulan is quiet.
The Overlord is targeted by the donkeys, very nicely done. Also, the second gear is on the Fremen army right now. You love to see it.
That's still not enough, but the Overlord gets killed by Donkey Force 3 here. Very well played, but the main army gets defeated.
Yep. But here comes some siege raiders. And if the Harkonnen decides to stand in the vapors, they will be wiped. Speaker of the Council is up, which will go to Atreides.
Yeah, the lobby should deny that and give it to smugglers or Harkonnen. Preferably smugglers, because smugglers is a bit out of the game.
Yep. That would be the play. Descent goes on Imperial Intelligence. No Harkonnen taint. Speaker goes to Harkonnen because nobody is contesting it.
Oh, Atreides supporting Imperial intelligence may be thinking they will be targeted by an assassination. Which they don't. Harkonnen wants to assassinate the Fremen.
It is still a great choice by Atreides because they do not know if the threat, if they are actually threatened by an assassination anytime soon. So getting
And
those
Harkonnen getting speaker with the minor
infiltration
house
says-
votes, and they are eligible for the governor. Will we see a Harkonnen
Don't tell
governor?
me, no, no, don't do this. They do have cruel reputation and they do not have Piter. So what they can do is just wait. I don't think he will actually try to assassinate. I think he will just spam it for the influence. Could it be? Because with the tech crew reputation, 25% of the solar cost that is used to prepare an operation, you gain as influence if you
Wow.
use that operation on an enemy in conflict. And an assassination costs 1,000 solari. So if you start an assassination of a faction that you are in conflict with, you get 25 influence, which is a lot.
Maybe that's their strategy here. They don't have Landsred Whispers yet, and not having insider tradings. If they had insider tradings, I could see that work. Because with
Yeah,
insider
they do
tradings, you
need
can
insider trading.
would be nice for them because you can sell your chome and get influence for it, and it also removes the max cap you have during the land thread.
And with that, if you do one more assassination against someone, you can start a land thread with, I believe, 1,500 votes, maybe.
That is such a good tactic. Someone should try that.
I think Beefrog actually tried it.
Nice. I would love to see that more.
Well, Harkan is no longer Gov eligible because I believe they started recruiting Raban, or somehow they lost
Ah, I see.
Lance Red.
Yep.
Henry has done that as well. I didn't see it. He could
Very
have, I don't know.
interesting. Yeah, but the lobby should see that the tradies can win this easily.
He's at 25k. Alarmingly high.
Has a lot of authority, 500 almost. With a peaceful annexation, they maybe can also spike here. They have one region in the back.
They have plus 37 because they just finished the Wonders of the Desert.
Yeah, the lobby has to turn right now, ASAP.
Yeah.
They can't afford this feud between the Fremen and the Harkonnens.
Also, Atreides never had a really strong army during any stage, like at any stage of the game.
Yeah, and they never were in conflict with anyone. That is crazy.
Yeah, they never fought. I don't think they took one fight against a faction. Only against sieges.
Yeah, that's interesting. Having 3 assassinations, no cap during the Landstrat phase, starting all 3 of them, and getting around 750 influence. That is
So you can
crazy.
easily do that, yes. You can do that, or spam the same assassination against one faction by starting it, cancelling it, starting it, cancelling it.
Yeah. That might work. I know from Verniers that the land thread does bug out if you do that.
Yep.
If you have no cap during the land thread and collect house gifts you have activated around your base, sometimes the land thread will bug out and you will have ungodly votes that don't count and you basically can't vote and the whole land thread just breaks.
This does seem to be a case of a game lost because of a blood feud, unnecessary blood feud.
It's very sad to see, but that does happen often in this game.
It does. We are all humans, and you know,
And
we
Smugglers
all get
is
angry
calling it out in the
sometimes.
chat. Feminine Hulk, stop blood feuding. Smuggler is seeing it. Hopefully they're tradies and they don't have an army right now.
Problem is, all of these liberations don't actually give much for the Fremen because they do not have Jamis. So
That is true.
going for this is basically giving nothing in terms of their recon. Ceasefire goes down a bit too early, I would say. I do not think this was necessary. Especially
Yeah.
not here. This is
You
a
can-
region that the tradies can just easily lose and not be bothered by it.
Yeah, or try to defend it, maybe. Or put the ceasefire down later when Smugglers attacks the village and is weakened by the militia. And then you can put down the ceasefire.
Do you need the Kraken, sir?
I
Okay.
think this game is one of the... Like, this doesn't happen in an experienced lobby. Atreides doesn't get this far ahead in an experienced lobby. This is purely due to the inexperience of the players, I believe. They do not understand how threatening Atreides can be in the late game, how hard it is actually to take just one region off of them, not even a special, just a regular region. Especially now that all of them are basically bunkers. Bunker here, bunker here, bunker here. This is just inaccessible,
One,
but also a
two,
bunker.
three, four bunkers.
Bunker here. This is a forward bunker that they could have taken, but they didn't.
Almost every village is a bunker.
Literally,
That's
almost
crazy.
every village is a bunker. Except their starting spice field. That is the only non-bunkered village that they captured. And this fuel cell region. The green cancer, exactly. Do not fight it early, it will spread. It will ruin your day.
Yeah, you have to do the Atreides chemotherapy.
That is a Harkonnen assassination. That would be the best chemotherapy against this.
That is true.
But even that, they can just build listening posts,
And
or not
against
listening posts.
Thufir,
What's that?
Um,
That building that detects monitoring station, and the bunkers will just kill the assassins.
yeah, and with Thufir you can hasten the missions and
Yep.
get the searches up very quickly.
Yep. Also, that is true, John. He could have built 0 turrets and he would still be in this position. But being in this position and holding this position is two different
Ready for
things.
instruction.
And just because of just the fact that there are all of these bunkers, he will basically lose none of the regions that he already captured.
Yeah, for all the newer players, it's very important
service.
to always have a keen eye on Atreides or Corino, and don't
But
let
also,
them get to
that's
this
why
stage.
we do this. Yeah, but also this is one of the things why we do this these kind of tourneys, so that the players who actually sign up can watch it back and learn from the commentary and realize where they can improve.
Yeah, but overall, very strong play from all these players so far. Just some minor mistakes, some big macro decisions that have to be made here. But so far, very well played.
Spice succeeds in 5 days, which will put Atreides at 28k, which means that they need one more tax and around one more village, considering the passive they have.
What do the operations? They have another ceasefire. Now they have 17 intel production, so that's very good for them. The smuggler player needs to have an comms jam prepped as an operation to cancel the ceasefire.
Yeah, but do they have enough intel production to keep that up? They have +9. That is not gonna be enough.
Yeah, and if you're in that position, you can ask your other players to say, hey, we need the comms jam because the ceasefire, and they will send you intel. Atreides now is peaceful annexing regions next to the smuggler base.
They can.
And
Who's gonna stop them?
it cannot be stopped because they have a ceasefire. Now, if another player wants to stop this, they have to attack the village, but Atreides will just put down the ceasefire and nothing can be done except for the comms jam. She
Also,
will nerf this.
Johnny makes true. So Johnny makes a great point. If Atreides has a nuke, it can basically guarantee a peaceful annexation for some fuck knows why, but it does. So if you start a peaceful annexation on a village and then you nuke it, it will make the peaceful annexation still keep ticking down while the village being inaccessible for others. So they cannot pillage it, they cannot stop the peaceful annexation. Like, they don't have the tools, they cannot attack the village, they cannot do anything with it, and the peaceful annexation will just go through even when the village is captured, nuked,
So
which is dumb.
the alliance, the anti-Atreides alliance, is assembling their armies right now. The question is, where do they want to attack?
Anywhere.
Anywhere.
I would, if I'm the Fremen, I would target this Well of Riches. Yep.
And they're doing that. Wow.
Because if you check all the bunkers, there are 0 missile batteries here.
That is true. Now, Smuggler is also flying over. Harkonnen lagging a bit behind. Oh, look at that Lance Red Guard army that just spawned. This is stupid. This is just stupid.
What happened? What? Oh wait, do they have the charter? Yes, they have Judge of the Council. So that's why.
Yeah, and this Fremen army will be wiped.
We're honored to serve you.
The Green Menace. Now,
This is...
Harkonnen is starting their attack, and Smugglers is pillaging. They need to liberate that. They
Did
can't
they all
afford to
betray?
pillage.
I don't think they betrayed.
We can see that on the faction status. Yes, they got betrayed by the Fremen.
Fremen betrayed them alone, which is, I would say fine, but with an army like this was, I think, too weak to betray for.
Now the
And you
Harkonnen
gave-
troops. Oh, there's the ceasefire,
The first of many.
and Harkonnen does not have any water. The Harkonnen army will
They will
die of
just die.
thirst. Oh no. Smugglers pillaged that region. They need to liberate.
So Atreides does have the tech to gain Lance Red Guards, but I believe these are just Lance Red Punishers from the Council. 4 of these Lance Red Guards are from the Betrayal, and some of them were
Yeah.
recruited because they have Judge of the Council.
Yeah. So it's very difficult to
We salute you.
coordinate here, an attack here, with all 3 players joining and attacking at the same time.
Yeah, there are some questionable decisions by all players involved in this game. They should have attacked Atreides much sooner, like the moment this banner appeared, or even more earlier. Like Fremen and Smuggler could have captured this Well of Riches. It would have been a pain in the ass for Atreides to recap this. Yeah, Mumfrey, yeah, I agree with that, Scream. Fremen could have liberated these 3 regions the moment he saw Atreides capturing these 2 simultaneously. Harkonnen could have tried to prep an assassination against the Atreides, because even though they have full fear, it can sometimes go through, because Harkonnen assassination is dumb and stupid and cannot be beaten by anybody unless you drop every region you have. Dumb and stupid and dumb is how I would describe that.
Okay, we see the next peaceful annexation going down. That might win Atreides the game here. Fremen, on the other hand, is not that far behind, considering all of that. But
I would say-
Atreides is just too far ahead.
I would say, yeah, I would say 3.5k hedge is quite a difference.
That is true.
Yeah, does he have enough spice for tax? No, he's not. He's -6.
That might be an issue. The contract is 2,500.
I mean, he can just raise it and he would still make it because he's generating 300 a day, so he can make that back in, I don't know, 6 days.
Yeah. He probably doesn't need that.
Yeah,
would
he will win
slide away.
even while missing the tax. That's wild. Don't matter. It's all the
So-
same.
Big engagement between the smugglers and the Atreides. Maybe there's hope. The smugglers beat this Atreides army, but it doesn't seem like it.
My Duke.
I mean, the Landsfeld guards are not on home territory, so these guys are basically, I mean, they have quite good stats. Now that I take a better look at them,
But
I did not expect them to be
it's
this good.
Duncan is just... Oh, Duncan gets killed. Smugglers is winning this fight. Very well
Yeah, but-
played.
All right.
Now, Harkonnen is going in again. Hopefully they have a... Yes, they do have a supply drop ready this time.
All right. Nice.
But the Fremen
How
army...
much water do they have? They have 20 water now. Okay, that's
Fremen
gonna
army
be enough.
was capping regions in the back.
29.9.
Yeah, I think they got this. Yep.
No,
This
3
is an
days.
Atreides win.
This is an Atreides win. Win on passive. They don't have enough time to. They can't even start a liberation. Look at this. This chunky militia.
Yep.
1k HP. Like, they won't even start the the liberation before Atreides wins. This is devastating. GG's.
GG.
Alright.
Yeah.
Well, this was a
Sapir winning
game.
the game, winning Group D, and will
Yep.
advance to the finals.
Alright. Some comments on the game. Just to sum up the main points that
Yeah.
they need to improve it.
I think Smugglers making a few mistakes in the early game, trying to go for the middle region, not respecting Fremen, and
Yep.
then not capping Well of Riches and not aggressing Atreides in the early game or mid game. Because Atreides didn't have an army, you could just capture regions, take them out, maybe even kill them. That's a big possibility for you. Then you would have had a fighting chance in this game.
Yep. I think. Yeah, Smuggler basically don't get too greedy when there's a Fremen neighbor, and try to move on Atreides a bit earlier. You can aggro them, you can capture. With Stakhanov, you can capture specials like this. Atreides does not have the army to contest you on that. But yeah, apart from that, you did your best. For the Fremen, try harassing everyone in the lobby. You harass your neighbors well enough. Harkonnen and Smuggler got set back so far so that if Atreides doesn't win, then you are the next one who would have. But you need to be aggressive towards Atreides, even if they are your cross map. Like this triple bunker, you never allow this to happen. You always need to prevent things from happening rather than reacting to it. That's when you are the strongest. Apart from that, well played.
Yeah.
To
For
the Harkonnen,
maybe
use meat armor.
Yeah, use meat armor. Maybe prep the assassination earlier.
Yeah, and if there's a blood feud happening, you should always have, like, if you are fighting someone militarily, having an assassination prepped against someone else is usually a better thing to do than having an assassination prepped against the same target who you are fighting militarily. So right now, if you are fighting the Fremen here, then you should have an assassination prepped against the Atreides, in case Smuggler wants to decap a few regions from them and you want to help them weaken Atreides.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey,
Apart from
guys.
that, oh hey,
Is that it for today's matches?
That's it
yeah,
for
we are
today,
just
yeah.
doing a few more comments on
Little
the game
recap.
and what they have to improve in.
Okay. Don't forget to shout out the Discord.
For sure.
Definitely.
Yeah, for Harkonnen,
Oh, yeah.
I think very solid play. Very nice Chome attempt. If Atreides and Smugglers didn't work out. And then you have to concentrate on the hedge and try that
Yep.
strategy.
It was a good plan B, and well done that you rushed to Symbol's authority fast enough that you actually got a decent amount of hedge.
Yep.
And for Atreides, just get your army up a bit faster. But everything else, Castor did a great job at explaining, I believe.
Yeah, very solid Atreides play.
Yep.
And
Uh,
yeah, like the big macro issues we had, the lobby needs to realize what threat Atreides is in the late game and needs to act accordingly. That means Fremen and Harkonnen have to communicate, okay, we need to set a truce here. We don't fight over these territories right now. We will do that later because we will just lose the game if we don't.
Yep. But yeah, this was game 1 of the second beginner tournament. Thank you guys for watching.
Yeah, we will
Join the
have-
Discord.
Yes, we will have our next game tomorrow and tomorrow evening for us Europeans. I think 1 hour earlier than today. That will be, I don't know which group at the moment. I will write that in the Discord channel. Yes, and definitely
Was
check
it
out
tomorrow?
the Dune Discord, the circuit. We have a lot going on. We have the new Elo bot that is running right now in its first round. So you can play Dune Spice Wars ranked games and climb up the Elo ladder. We also have a very talented person, Protalk, working on a advanced multiplayer mod that you can play with 7 factions instead of the 4 and play every faction in the game on one big map. That is in the works. So if you want to test that out, help Protalk with testings and stuff, you can join the Discord and do that. And we also will have more tourneys coming your way in the next following months.
Exciting.
Yes.
And also Awakening dropping in June. And
That
we
is
also have a
true.
guild that we will where we will do us kind of fun stuff in Awakening. So if you are interested in that as well, join the Discord.
Yep. That's it for
Yes.
us.
Yep. Thank you guys for watching, and see you guys in the next game. Bye bye.